Chats with Trae. Chats with Trae. Welcome, welcome everybody to another episode of Chats with Trae. That music always has me bouncing right before we get on air, so I got to do a little bounce for y'all out there. But I'm glad you guys are joining us today, and I'm really glad that our guest is here today to talk a little bit more about Sherwood Goods. We're going to learn all about it. Mr. Donnie Lay in the building today. What's up, Donnie?
Hey, so how you guys doing? Thank you, Trae, for having me. It's huge. Appreciate the opportunity. We out here.
Yeah, we're out here, right? The thing is that I'm really always grateful to be able to utilize this platform to showcase what people are doing out there in community. And I get so inspired by the stories of folks like yourself who really are out here doing great work and saying, you know what, this is how I'm going to throw myself in the hat. So let's talk a little bit about your beginnings. We'll start from the beginning. I mean, Donnie, where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? Things like that. Tell us all about you.
For sure. First of all, my name is Donnie. I'm Donnie Lay. I'm 23 years old. I'm from SeaTac, Beering, West End area, West Seattle area. That's where I'm from. So I grew up. I went to Cascade Middle School, Evergreen High School. That's my childhood. That's my belongings. That's where I grew up. And yeah.
Well, do you have a big family? I mean, in terms
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
some of the times, I think what inspires us so much is that when we take our lived experience into the solutions that we're creating. So, how has your childhood, your upbringing, maybe created who you are today?
Well, yeah, my parents always been. I grew up with both my parents and two younger sisters. I'm the oldest one, and so being the oldest one, also I always felt the responsibility to do more for myself and my family and provide my family. And so my biggest goal and dream is always to retire my parents. I've seen them work hard day in and day out, all night, all day. I'm like, you know what? I gotta do something more to my life than just working 9 to 5. No disrespect to anybody who does that, but I always knew that there was more to life than just making money and paying bills. There's more purpose and more life to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can, definitely connect with you on being the oldest sibling. Same for me. I'm the oldest of 4 on my mom's side, 2 on my dad's side. So really like 6 combined or I guess 5 without me. But, the thing for me has always been to be that example. And I think that really stands so true for so many of us who are the firstborn, because you have people, your young siblings looking up to you no matter what.
Exactly.
It's like an inherent thing where you're like, hey, I was kind of born a mentor. I got to step into that.
Exactly.
How much of that, in terms of how your younger sister's looking up to what you're doing, kind of plays into how you are today or what you do today?
I think it's everything. It's really big. I try to be the best role model I can for my sisters, and try different things out and just experience life and be the best role model I can be. I haven't always made the best decisions in life, but now as I get older, I realize that's what's important. I had someone ask me the other day, like, what would your sister say about you right now, in your journey? I was like, would they be proud of you or the decisions you've been making? I'm like, yeah, they would. Now they are. Not before, but now they are. And so I think being a camp counselor myself, working with all types of age groups, being a mentor and being a role model and leading kids is what it's all about for me.
Yeah, to me, that's such a solid part.
Yeah.
When I was a little younger than you, I was definitely involved in so many different camps, doing a lot of acting camps and acting programs, and leading them, teaching them, like all of that, just really sharing some of the things that I learned. And I realized for me, so much of what makes Trae Holiday, right, is it goes back to my high school years. I feel like our high school times really cement a lot of who we are. And, one of my elders always says, man, there's no place like Seattle where people connect to who they were and where they went to high school. How much of that for you is a part of you as a camp counselor?
Man, that's huge. A part of my camp counselor days were in high school, and I went to a alternative school to finish off my high school years called Wells. It's the Waskowitz Environmental Leadership School, where I became a camp counselor for my sophomore year all the way even now. I go back. And so that's where I developed my passion of helping people in need, is that I was kind of lost in life, growing up in middle school and high school. I was like, what is my purpose in life? How do I fit in? Always trying to follow my friends, making bad decisions and having bad influence on me. But once I found camp and being a camp leader and leading kids, I was like, oh shit, this is, excuse me, I could curse, but this is what I do. This is my passion. And so like it has to do with everything I do now in life is how I develop my passion and what I do with Sherwood Goods is working with kids, through mentoring kids, through teaching kids about outdoor school, through learning them, and so it's everything to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
There's nothing like really being involved in the community in that sense where, you're giving back to youth and really sharing your lived experience. And, you made note there of how, hey, you haven't always made the right decisions, right? And I think that is really integral in, probably shaping who you are today, because sometimes you have to make the wrong decisions in order to know
Absolutely.
how to make the right decisions.
Right.
How has that played out for you in your life and just in the ways that you mentor young people?
Yeah, I'm really open about my experiences and all the mistakes that I've gone through in life. And so I think part of it is just being open to share your story and being honest with the youth that I work with. That this is my experience. I'm just like you. I'm a person of color too. I made mistakes, but here I am now. My decisions in my past doesn't define who I am as a person today. It's all about how you come back for it. It's all about how you you become better after that. And so, when I growing up in high school, I made a lot of bad decisions. I hung out around people, and I just really wasn't happy, And then, one thing another, and now here I am.
Yeah. I think it really is important, and I'm sure your sisters and your parents are just so proud that you were able to make that turn and make that transition, because I talk about it often how it really is a choice, right?
Yeah.
When you start thinking about the fact that you have the power to make the choices that are going to benefit your life or be a detriment to your life, then it's all on you, right?
Exactly.
And like you said, sometimes it really is about fighting those negative influences and embracing those positive ones that are going to lift you up in the times of need. And I think that internally for me, I've seen how that plays out in our community and with individuals. And it's always been a thing for me to say, you know what, there's something else that has to guide me, because I have the option of choosing this way or that way.
Yeah.
And it's important that I choose the right path, because again, it goes back to making my parents proud,
Yep.
making my siblings proud,
Exactly.
being a part of community. And that really takes me into what community. Oftentimes, again, it goes back to choice.
Yeah.
You have the choice of like, well, look, I don't, Seattle ain't doing nothing for me. I'm gonna go to another state, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna make it there.
Yeah.
But what about it for you in terms of like, no, I'm gonna be right here in my community to make this difference?
Yeah, well, first off, I love Seattle. I love where I grew up from, and where the area and the people that I've met through my childhood, And so, like, community is a big part to me, because, how can I be of service to other people? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my passion, And so, like, how can I turn my passions into a business, into what I do with it every day, And so it feels good. It's a good feeling to able to provide a platform to help people in need. It fulfills my heart, you know what I'm saying? It fulfills my soul. And so it's not really about the money, at first starting off, it's about helping people. Like, how many people can it impact, And shout out to Nipsey Hussle, like, I grew up watching him and listening to his music, and how he sold drugs on his block and to owning the whole thing, that's amazing, Shout out to Crenshaw, what I'm saying? It's on my shirt. I wear it every day, And so just the idea of that, I was like, how can somebody who look similar to me, gone through similar things I've gone through, and then still want to get back to the community without moving places, without moving to another state, like you said, because this is home. I love Seattle. I love the area I grew up in, and so I just want to do everything I can to be that Nipsey Hussle in my own community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's great to have amazing role models like that. I think they really play such a key role in us shaping who we are.
Absolutely.
Also, you know what I mean? And ultimately, the thing that I love so much about everybody's unique experience is that it's customized.
Yes.
But yet you find such similar things about it. Like the drivers that make us become who we are.
Right.
Why we embed ourselves in community, why we see certain solutions and say, nope, I'm going to take that solution. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to put it, kind of strap it onto my back.
Yeah.
I think is so key to this. And, ultimately, I get excited because there's some great stuff happening, just like all throughout Washington.
Yeah.
And to know that you're coming from the area you came from,
Yeah.
it's unique. It's a unique experience. Tell us a little bit about how growing up out there in Burien, in White Center, like how that was for you, because I know it's different than maybe somebody who grew up in the CD.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's pretty similar, but I think that having friends grew up in poverty, lower income areas, you know what I'm saying, and like just different people of color, you know what I'm saying. I see more people of color than I do see white people, and so just getting used to that, and like, hey, we all look the same, you know what I'm saying. We come from the same struggle, and so that just puts more weight on my back that I want to carry, that to make a difference. Like, hey, doesn't matter where you come from, you know what I'm saying. Like, you too can make it out the hood. You too can make it out of a lower income area in your life, you know what I'm saying. And so it's huge. That's why I feel like if I grew up in somewhere else, then I wouldn't have the same perspective in life. I wouldn't have the same struggles, and I wouldn't be where I am without the people in the community I grew up with.
Yeah. I mean, I think, hands down to that, because I agree 100%. I think so much of what my focus has been now is because I understand the importance of what I had when I was younger.
Yeah.
And we're different in age here,
Yeah.
right? We're maybe coming from a different generation.
Yeah.
But really, I think that there's so much connectivity when we're talking about what community looks like.
Right.
And it really is, a reminder for all of us when we start thinking about, man, I had these characteristics growing up. How am I going to contribute to those positive characteristics for the next generation, right? And one day, whenever you have kids, right, it becomes like a whole nother thing, because then it's like, man, not only do I got my younger siblings in my family, now I got my babies, right, that are like driving that idea. So don't worry, you got some time to wait. I mean, 23, you got plenty of time. But, before we go to break, I just want to hear one last thing from you, and that really is like, there's something that gets you like going every single day, right?
Yeah.
And it's a motivational piece, because when you're a business owner, when you're embarking on things like that, you have to have that continuity. Maybe it's a Nipsey quote, maybe it's a song, but what is that thing for you that's like, man, I gotta continue to do this?
Man, my parents. You know what I'm saying? My parents, my family. I think besides the Nipsey Hustle stuff and everything else, my parents. I gotta make them proud. I can't, sit in my butt and not do anything with my life. I get depressed if I'm not being productive. And so I gotta get up and every day, and show that to my siblings, my parents, that you know what, you didn't just come to this country and work all those hours for nothing. I'm here to do something with my life, and I'm gonna show it. So I wake up, I'm like, I'm doing this for my parents, for my family, because we gotta make it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make it out. I have dreams and goals that I want to achieve for my parents and my siblings, and so that's one thing that keeps me going every day is my family, for sure.
Wow, it's beautiful,
Thank
beautiful,
you.
Donnie.
Thank you.
I'm excited to dive in after the break more about Sherwood Goods and what you're doing over there with that effort, and how you're bringing opportunities for other vendors, particularly vendors of color, those from the global majority. So excited to get into that with you. You guys, we're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, Donnie Lay is going to dive in to his founding company that he's doing, Sherwood Goods. We're going to learn more about that after this short break. You're watching Chats with Trae. Hey, everybody. We all know that COVID-19 has had a major impact on everything this year, even energy bills. Puget Sound Energy understands the ongoing struggle that's facing its customers. And this is why they're offering a COVID bill assistance program of up to $2,500 per qualified customer. If you or anyone you know are currently behind on energy bills, please contact PSC today to discuss all of the assistance options available. Visit psc.com/COVID to learn more.
Hey, it's Jake from Converge Media and Get the F Outside. I hope that all of you are taking advantage of the ability to be outdoors and enjoy nature as our summer months heat up. One other thing that you can take advantage of here in the King County area are free COVID-19 vaccinations. There's all kinds of options for pop-up clinics, and the vaccine is able to be administered to anyone 12 years and older. And did I mention that it's free? You don't need insurance, and they don't care what your citizenship status is. And that kind of sounds like the way things should be anyhow, but we'll save that for another conversation. Information and resources are available at kingcounty.gov/COVID, or you can call the COVID-19 call center at 206-477-3977. Washington, we are almost out of this, but we got to stay locked in for the home stretch. Let's get vaxxed out so we can max out our time with friends, family, and in the great outdoors.
Welcome back, everybody, to Chats with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. And, we just got to learn a lot about Donnie Lay in the first half of this episode. And I'm excited to really dive in deeper into what brought Donnie Lay to Chats with Trae set today. And that is Sherwood Goods. Welcome back, Donnie Lay.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah. This right here is really what said, what, I got to get you on, because every time I hear about an opportunity for us to really uplift our vendor community, which, to be honest, is so robust here in Washington, but particularly in King County, where we see, so many different vendors coming out. Tell me more about Sherwood Goods.
So Sherwood Goods, the name comes from the story of Robin Hood. If you guys know the story of Robin Hood, the story takes place in Sherwood, Germany, in Sherwood Forest in Sherwood, Germany. And so story of Robin Hood is where Robin Hood and his merry men took from the rich and gave back to the poor. Right, that's the story, And so instead of taking from the rich and give back to the poor, literally in real life, we want to bring all the small businesses together, give them a platform to sell their merchandise, boost sales, and to share their story. And so that's where the name comes from and stands from. And so, that includes, helping with the community, which is my passion, and helping people in need. That's where Sherwood Goods really stemmed from.
Yeah, this is a really unique space to be in.
Yeah.
We do a lot in terms of community. There's a lot of events that showcase, markets, free markets, black vendors, those from the global majority, really showcasing the vendor community again. And I think that it really brings people to another level in terms of, man, I'm already going to consume certain goods.
Yeah.
How do I circulate the dollar more in my community? How much of that for you is really important when people are thinking about coming to Sherwood Goods to find vendors?
Yeah, it's big. It's huge. Sherwood Goods is an online shopping platform that exclusively sells merchandise from local business owners that are owned by BIPOC, women-owned, and LGBTQ owned. And we specifically wanted to highlight these certain group of people because they're really underrepresented in the community, and especially in the industry, And so I just wanted to shine light on these people so that they get a chance to shine too, I think that, like for example, you do what you do, and you're giving people like me, young people like me, an opportunity to showcase what they're about, and just the more value we want to give to people who are underrepresented, people of color, LGBTQ, women owned, and so it's everything. It wouldn't be the same if I had a business just for everybody, And so that's why I think we're people of color special, you know what I'm saying? And so we have really talented and gifted people in the community that need to be highlighted and need to be talked about.
Yeah, and I think, too, that, somebody just said to me the other day, wow, it wasn't until I started diving in and, coming to events or, shout out to Africatown Seattle, Africatown SEA on IG. They're doing a Black Biz, alert. And so they're just showcasing all of these amazing Black businesses. But the truth of the matter is that people oftentimes just don't know about a lot of these businesses. How have you experienced that in terms of people that are actually buying goods at Sherwood Goods?
Yeah, people enjoy it. I would say one of the Sherwood Goods slogans is align your values with your shopping dollars. And it hits home because we want to support our own people, but we gotta spend money to actually support our own people, And so these business owners and these vendors have been so amazed and I'm so appreciative of the opportunity I've been giving them day in, day out, because I'm constantly, showcasing different types of businesses, and just brings so much value into their own life and their family's life, because these are real business owners who come from, real places, And so as far as the customers, they're like, okay, I feel good about this, I bought something that means something, that maybe it's a little bit more expensive, but it has value, and it brings more value than just the dollars, it's sentimental value too, and so it means so much to these people. I get so many comments about, hey man, good job, I appreciate you, good job for doing what you're doing, no one's really out here doing what you're doing, and so it means a lot.
Online shopping is just huge.
Yes.
And I mean, we live in the birthplace of Amazon.
Yep.
So we would be remiss to think that, everybody is just going to these spaces. I think that there's a real hunger for online platforms like Sherwood Goods to really amplify, again, like you said, the voices of those that normally don't get it. When we think about what we see in major media or TV, there's these commercials for these brands that don't live where we live, right? And even if they're local brands and they're big enough to get a TV commercial, trust and believe they're already making millions of dollars.
Exactly.
Right? So that's part of it. I mean, we do have some folks that, hey, they raise money to do that just so that they can get the awareness out there. But I think that it's important to really figure out, no, this is how we can be even more intentional. How are you finding these vendors to showcase on Sherwood Goods?
I'm just finding them randomly, on Instagram, browsing, hours and hours of browsing, and also my friends, and to the point where you say, about Amazon, I think it's really big, and it's really part of why I do what I do, because these small businesses are having a hard time competing with Amazon and eBay and going to the mall. And like you said, these people already have, millions of dollars already in their pockets, and so why do they need more, How about create a platform that can compete with them, And so, just shopping with your intention, shopping with your values,
It means a lot.
That means a lot.
And you're doing it in a way that's really organic, because I think too, so much of what I talk about here on this show is, building relationships.
Absolutely.
That's really what our community is about. And when we talk about earlier about just some of the same characteristics that you experienced out there in Burien and White Center and what else, like were experienced in the CD too, because it was about relationship.
Exactly.
And, when you're able to showcase like, man, I'm gonna create an online platform that allows me to then build relationship with these people because they're in my neck of the woods, right?
Exactly.
They literally are where I am.
Yep.
And it really creates a different dynamic in terms of shopping with your values. I love that phrase because you're giving people the opportunity to do just that. What are some of the businesses that you have on Sherwood Goods?
We got Meanings Collective. Shout out to Meanings, my guys on Meanings Collective. We got Undefined Clothing. We got Pinky Boys. We got, let's see what else. Go Vintage. We got Burning Bush. We got Undefined. Just a whole bunch of, Black, brown, and BIPOC, women-owned, LGBTQ-owned businesses, and the list goes on. It's like I keep a spreadsheet. I have about 50 to 100 and more businesses that I've featured and connected and built connections with,
Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about the online space. Is this somewhere where, all of the businesses you listed are listed at once? Do you do spotlights? What does it look like from a digital perspective?
Yeah, from a digital perspective, I highlight one at a time, and so these small businesses, I would give them DM, give them a list of questions to answer for me. They'll send a couple of photos and their prompt back, and I feature them like maybe a couple a week. And on my stories, I share every day. I find new businesses every day. I post them every day. Hey, go check these guys out. They're Black-owned, they're women-owned. Go check them out. They're a brand new business. I'm go give them a follow, go buy their stuff. And so as far as social media, that's what I'm doing. I'm working on an online shopping website. That's been taking a little longer than I expected. Because with all the customization that I want to do. But yeah, you can check out my Sherwood Goods on Instagram, on Facebook, constantly, sharing new businesses every day.
Yeah. This is why it's so important to utilize the tools we have to create the solutions we want. Because, you're right. Like an online marketing platform is a lot. Because then you start talking about, well, who's doing the shipping? Are you just going to direct people to their own website?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to consider there. And I think that it's really great for multiple spaces to be created to amplify and uplift our vendor community that we have here. Because to be honest, I love shopping with our vendors. I mean, I do a lot of it at our events. Like it's my way of kind of paying the fee, right? In terms of like, I'm going to make sure that I am circulating my dollars amongst my community, and I'm going to be very intentional about that.
Exactly.
And one of the things I love the most, honestly, Donnie, is that we have some dope providers out here.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, we really do. I mean, shout out, like you just said, shout out to my guys at Mediums Collective, man. I love their brand. And really, it's great quality product.
It is.
I love Undefined. Shout out to the folks over there at Undefined. Love what they do, because I bought many of things from, both of those vendors and several. I mean, I can name so many off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So we'll have to collaborate. I want to make sure the
Exactly.
people I know and love are on your
Exactly.
radar. But I think that it's important to utilize these kinds of tools around social media.
Yeah.
It's blown up, man, and everybody is scrolling on their phones all the time. So we need to be able to constantly put it in their face to make it easy and accessible for them to shop and get to know more about these businesses. So shout out to you, man, because
Thank
you're doing that work.
Exactly. So by shopping these business owners, you get to take advantage of the expertise. You know what I'm saying? It's higher quality products. It's less shipment from overseas. So economically, environment, is the best way to shop. Is through shopping local, shopping small businesses. And so you generate more money in your communities. Because the money that you spend is going right back to creating more dope products for the customers, and so it just kind of circulates. All the money is kept in the community.
I love it.
Yeah.
And, one of the things that I'll say to Donnie is that, thank you for having the foresight to say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love being able to have our marketplaces, but it's a 1-2 punch. It's like we need all of that in order to really make a real difference here. And when we think about how we have created so much empowerment in our communities, it really is with the dollar. It's how we utilize our dollar. We're making money. How are we spending that money? How are we being intentional to be, more mindful about where we put our dollars?
Exactly.
And so, I love seeing, platforms like Sherwood Goods. I mean, there's others that are like, look, if you need detergent, here's a black people that make detergent. If you need dish soap, like there's so many different things,
So many.
Outside of just like clothing and food. Because I think sometimes people really think about it in those two categories, like, clothing and food. But I'm going to start challenging our vendors to come up with their own shoe line, man. Let's knock Nike out of the box. Everybody doesn't need Jordans, right?
Exactly.
Everybody does not need Adidas or Reeboks or whatever else, or Nikes. I think that we can actually start to design some things. I know that gets a little bit harder in terms of production, but when you have a great vendor, a great warehouse, a great connection with a supplier, you can start to see some really great things come out. And I think that's what a lot of our top vendors really have done so well. They've said, you know what, I want to do this and I'm going to do it well. And I think that so many of our vendors throughout community showcase that.
Exactly, I agree. And shout out to all the other vendors too, because we have more than just clothing and food. There are, hair products, like dish soap, you know what I'm saying? There's hand soap, there's like the skin products. So it's just so many. And it's the variety is amazing, and it's so wide. And so if you have an idea, just start it, make good connections, and, just believe in yourself that you can do it, because anything can happen, whether you have 50 followers to 1,000 to 10,000, it doesn't matter, so we want to future you, want to give you a spotlight to shine and showcase your business and tell the people your story, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's a great segue into this. Before we let you go, you can look right into the camera. Let any consumers or any of the vendors out there know how they can get in contact with you at Sherwood Goods.
Cool. So everybody, if you're a vendor, follow me on Sherwood Goods, on IG, on Facebook, Twitter, and just shoot me a DM. If you're a vendor, you want to work, shoot me a DM, let's work. And if you're a consumer and you want to buy some products, shoot me a DM too. I know all the places that you need to shop and where you can get a full wardrobe that's looking fly. And it's also you make you feel good about yourself too while you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys heard it right there from Donnie himself. Donnie, thank you so much again for joining me on this episode of Chats with Trae. I'm really inspired by your innovation and by your drive, man, because I know it takes drive to be able to be scrolling and finding these businesses every day and making sure that you're continuously featuring our businesses. So thank you for what you're doing.
Appreciate you, Trae. Appreciate you, Trae, and the whole, everybody that's involved with this movement. I'm really young. I'm only 23 years old, and so this is crazy. This is amazing to me. I'm nervous. I'm sweating, but we out here doing it, So thank you, Trae, for, just your openness and your mindfulness and just, your love for putting in your community on.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you guys heard it right here from Donnie Lay himself. I mean, honestly, this entire show is really about uplifting people that are doing great work in our community. And you guys know my mantra. When you guys can learn more about the people that are seeing themselves as a part of the solution by pouring their innovation and ideas and their time, talent, and treasure, as my girl would say, into to the community, we really all benefit from it. So shout out to Donnie Lay for having the foresight to say, you know what, this is how I'm going to do it. And you guys know me. I'm going to encourage you all out there, not only to support Sherwood Goods, by finding the great goods right here that are locally produced, local services, local goods, but also to see yourself as a part of the solution, as Donnie Lay has. At 23 years old, for those of us who are a little older than 23, I can tell you this much: we should all be inspired by this young man and his innovation, his dedication to really highlighting the brilliance within our community. And I'm so glad he was here to inspire you all as he has inspired me today. Thank you guys for watching Chats with Trae. And as you know, we'll be back next Friday, every Friday at 2 p.m. with another episode for you to continue feeling inspired by all the amazing things happening in our community. Thanks for watching, y'all.
Chats with Trae.